for the organization, and 320-5335, 318-320-5335 is the number to call. Go ahead.
The NAACP is NAACP.org, or you're welcome to hit us on our local Facebook page, or you can hit us on our email. It's NAACP 1856 at Yahoo. We'll be glad to respond and talk to you. Just to kind of piggyback on something, when you talk about how the media have betrayed our Afro-American boys, I think that we have to make sure that with all of this killing that's going on in this community, that we try to take some of that negative out of the media, and let's try to show how these kids are coming together to talk to one another where we can stop some of this killing.
Absolutely. And looks like the calls are coming in. Lloyd, you don't mind taking a call or two, do you?
I don't mind.
And who's it we got? Stephen's on the line with us now, and I want to welcome you back. Stephen's a regular caller. Stephen, thank you for calling. Thank you for listening. What's on your mind?
I'm so glad you're stealing my thunder today because you've been driving me crazy all week.
What's on your mind, brother?
At the radio all week. Well, I'll tell you, I love everything I'm hearing right now. There's still, as a teacher sometimes, especially on the collegiate level, there is a great barrier to our young people, especially those of color and minorities and those in economic lower tier. There is a barrier to them becoming an entrepreneur and self-employed.
What is that barrier?
And that barrier is investment capital. And this is what the NAACP and a lot of other people ought to be working on. Because the Asian families have the answer. They invest in their own families and themselves through investment groups. And now that we got crowdfunding, there needs to be a mechanism where these kids can get capital for a business plan and become their own entrepreneur. And it doesn't exist. You ain't going to get it from Wall Street. You're not going to get a grant, and you're not going to get it from the bank.
All right. I'm going to let Lloyd, what do you say that before I chime in?
Well, you're definitely right. That's why my office is housed in the Afro-American Chamber building. Afro-American Chamber and I share office space. And each day I wake up, I talk about how we can help a young Afro-American go into business. How you teaching them how to go into business. How you let them know it's no such thing as grants to go into business. And if we can teach our community that and teach those folks who talk about going into business, first you ought to have education and understand what kind of business you want to go in. Don't just sit up at night and say, I just want to be a businessman. Think about what business you want to be in. Think about what it takes to be in that business. Think about how it works and to be able to survive in that business and where you're going to get your finance for that business.
Right.
So you're definitely right. And that's what I strive every day is to talk about. If you're going into business, I'm willing to help you, walk you through the Afro-American Chamber, help you and walk you through whatever I can. But I want you to have the vision. I want you to have the drive in your belly that this is what you want to do. And you're going to do what it takes to make that happen. So you're definitely right about it. And I teach that every day. Every day that I show up in my office, when folks call looking for business, I talk about that same conversation.
Now, Stephen Lloyd, let me share a principle with you that I have actually used and put into practice from Tampa and across and back to this area. Lloyd, I'm going to have to keep you another block here, but I'm going to share this with you. Businessmen in the community, let's say 20 of you, come together every quarter. You bring $3,000 to the table, your own money to the table, 20 of you every quarter. That's $60,000. There's capital right there. What do you do with that money? You find a blighted apartment. You find someone who really wants to go into business themselves, let's say as a yard man. What you guys do is, in fact, invest in the equipment to put that kid in business. And you get a very small return on your business. What this is, Stephen, is, in fact, putting your money where your mouth is. If you want to bail them out, don't use government funds. If you want to make your community better, don't use government funds. If you're serious about who you are, and giving back to the community, then give back to the community by using your own money. But see, that is a principle that has to work with young people, as Lloyd just said, that have a fire and drive in their belly to make it work. And you have to identify those kids. So the venture capital, the investment capital that you're talking about is there. It's in the pockets of the business people who are wanting to make the community better. I'm CL. I'll be back in just a minute.
There must be some kind of way out of here, said a joker to the thief. There's too much confusion, I can't get no relief.
CL back with you on this Thursday evening. Really glad that you're here. I've been in the studio today with someone who I really feel has the best intentions and for our community and our young people, the black community and not the community period, because Lloyd, you identified it. It's not just the black community. These shootings can happen to anyone that's going on. And in order to stop that, people are going to have something else to do other than pull the trigger on a gun.
Right.
So what I really, and Stephen, if you're out there, you're still out there. That's how you do it, brother. That's how you do it. You don't look for government grants or anything like that. You do it. You and I get together and we say, hey, look, we're going to invest in you.
Right.
and you bring 2 or 3 others with you that will help you start a business, and we put that kid in business. And of course, you're looking for a return, but that's why you pick out one kid. Lloyd, give out the website again to the NAACP, and we want to next seminar or what have you give. Please call me. You're gonna give you my personal number.
Right.
Please call me, and I'm gonna show up.
Okay, it's naacp.org, or you can reach on our email, naacp1856 at yahoo.com, or you're welcome to call us, 318-828-1905. We're always looking for a way to make sure we improve racial relations and help make our community a better place. Because I said earlier, we're not an organization for just black folks. We're an organization for all people of color. If you're being mistreated or you think you're being mistreated, give me a call. Let me have the opportunity to help you get through it. And I will stay with you all the step of the way.
God bless you and God keep you, man. Fight the good fight. Thank you so much for coming in. I think you're a really stand-up type of person to come into. Some people call this the Lion's Den, but I certainly appreciate you for coming in and talking to me. Hopefully we can build some bridges for Shreveport to make it better. Lloyd Thompson, President, NAACP, Shreveport. I'm CL, and I want to continue now with the conversation that we have had about what's going on with McDonald's. The $15 an hour thing, it's a big deal across this nation. And yes, I understand that there are people who want to make more money. But I'm saying to you that you may be marching yourself out of a job. Let me tell you why. A robotic arm that they're trying out in other places cost about $30,000. It's never late for work. You never have to put up with anything as far as that's concerned. It doesn't give the person a personal touch, but it helps the restaurateur cut down on the overhead. It helps the restaurateur cut down on his man hours. And the only thing that he has to worry about is, in fact, keeping that robotic arm working. And so, folks, let me tell you something. I have worked in the McDonald's organization. For me, it was a startup job. Of course, I came in as an assistant manager. But in the McDonald's Corporation, you run through the entire gambit. I mean, you know how to do the fries. You know how to flip the burgers. You know how to do everything, And so you start at the bottom, and sure, you can work your way up. No doubt about it. Ask the Griggs Corporation here in town. Roy Griggs, you ask him about it. A success story all within himself, and I really wish that I could get him or his son in here on the show. Maybe after today that can happen. But I would like to talk to them about what does this mean. I'd like to talk to any restaurateur or entrepreneur about what does this mean for us to have a $15 an hour wage. What does it mean to them for a $15 an hour wage to be put in place? How would that hurt their business? I've talked to several restaurateurs already in the area, and of course I talked to them around the country. And bar none, it would harm them. They would have to let people go. And so when we talk about this type thing, you have to understand, as if you're listening to me and you are a minimum wage worker and you're wanting to make more money, let me tell you how to do it. It's a word that we don't like. It's a word called sacrifice. Yes, sacrifice. It's words like finding a way, making it happen. But sacrifice is the chief and prevailing word in getting to where you want to go. Sleep deprivation is a key to where you want to go. And it is the key to holding on to what you earn. And that word is an old-fashioned word. Earn it. Work for it. Because the new words in this country are words like, let us give this to you. Let us give this to you. Those are the new words in this country. Bernie Sanders is poisoning the minds of so many young people in believing that there should be a car in every garage and a chicken in every pot and a college education for everybody that they have not earned. You understand? You even have to earn the college education. You have to earn the degree, unless they're just going to give you the degree. Once you go to college, you still have to have a work ethic to stay there. Believe me, I know. I was on probation, about to be kicked out of college. I'll talk to you when I come back. I'm CL.
Where you going with that gun in your hand? Hey Joe, I said, where you going with that gun in your hand? I'm going down to shoot my old lady. You know I caught her messing around with another man.
CL, back with you on this Thursday evening. You're listening to the CL Bryant Show, streaming live throughout the fruited plains of the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the greatest success story the world has ever known. The question is, how do we get that way? Through many trials, ups and downs, that's how we got that way. In fact, folks, the truth is, that's really how you get anywhere that's worthwhile. There's struggle involved. There is struggle involved in getting to where you want to go. So you get a college grant, or so you get free college. What are you going to do with someone who is in college who has no work ethic and doesn't know how to remain in college? They're in college. So what? What do you do with that person? Michelle, who do we have on the line? Oh, I have state representative Mike Johnson, soon to be United States Congressman Mike Johnson, on the line with you, my friend of the show. Mike, you and the governor are going body blows, man. What's going on with that?
Well, the governor's picking a fight with me, CL. He's mentioned me twice by name in his press releases over the last few weeks. And, I just finally said enough was enough. So I went to social media and pointed it out, and he's not too happy about it.
I imagine not. Tell the audience what the blow-up is about.
Listen, the governor back in mid-March issued an executive order that, to me, was just unprecedented. It was a gender identity protection order, supposedly about transgender rights and all that, and he imposed all these new restrictions on every state official, every division of government, even state contractors, that they can't, quote-unquote, discriminate, which basically could be interpreted to mean that men have to use women's bathrooms and all that. Well,
right.
It was 3.5 weeks later, Obama came out with his executive order that said the same thing, imposing that on schools for locker rooms and all that. So we raised the question in the legislature. I got 32 colleagues to sign on to a letter that I wrote asking Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry, our good friend, to come out with an advisory opinion on whether or not that nonsense can be enforceable in Louisiana. And the governor got upset about it. The Attorney General Landry did exactly what you might expect, CL, on May 24th. He came out with a 15-page opinion affirming our serious concerns, and he concluded the Edwards order can have no binding legal effect because he clearly exceeded his constitutional authority as the governor. And so yesterday the governor came out as a backlash in response and just attacked me and attacked Jeff Landry and tried to make it personal.
Well, I regret that happened, but I'm glad at the same time that it happened, Mike, because you and I and others tried to warn our state what would happen with the direction as far as mentality is concerned of the governor's office. And listen, let me just join. The battle has been joining, and let me tell all of you out there: you jump on Mike, you jumping on me too. So I'm gonna wade into this fight with you, Mike. And let me tell you something: you are doing the right thing. Jeff Landry did the right thing in exposing who this governor is. Has he shown his true colors, in your opinion?
Well, he has, and he's continuing to do so. And to be real frank about it, this is kind of petty for a governor. I mean, he said in his news release that he's monitoring my social media posts and all this. I mean, it should be beneath the dignity of a governor to go after a state representative and attorney general on something like this. We're just doing our duty. Our duty is to represent our constituents, the concerns of all the people in our region, in our state. And people are greatly concerned about this nonsense. And the Attorney General doing his job, providing the advisory opinion. All the legislators who signed on are doing their jobs. And the governor just doesn't like the way it looks for him. And so he's coming in and lashing out at us. Look, I posted about it about 7 hours ago on social media, CL. Rep Mike Johnson is my Facebook handle, Rep Mike Johnson. And look, the thing has been shared like 600 times. There's thousands of likes. It's going viral because I pointed out exactly what the governor's doing. And I think that's an appropriate thing for us to do. It is not personal, but we're talking about the future of the state, the safety of our children, and just common sense. And
Rep Mike Johnson. Rep Mike Johnson on Facebook. Rep Mike Johnson on Facebook. Go there and check it out. Michelle has gotten it for me. And Mike, on Friday, let me show you how close this is, Mike, to us. Friday, June 3rd, I'm going to be up at in Texarkana, Arkansas, at the Mount Grove Baptist Church. I'm going to be talking about this very thing that they, in the darkness of night, the city officials there basically pushed through on the people in Texarkana, Arkansas, exactly the type of ordinance that you are fighting. And the people there in Texarkana are saying, hey, we're not having any of this. And I believe that that is the general mood and opinion of most Americans in this country. Mike, I don't understand how a governor of the state of Louisiana cannot understand this. It is beyond me. And so, folks, what do we do, Mike, to join you? How do we support you? And tell us how to support you on this.
Well, listen, MikeJohnsonForLouisiana.com is our website. That's our congressional campaign website. But this is bigger than any congressional campaign. It's bigger than even what's going on currently in the legislature. There are lots of pressing issues facing us, the budget and the budget shortfall and all these other critical issues. We're fighting on all those fronts. But at the same time, we have got to keep an eye on these important social issues because we are losing our freedom. And ultimately, CL, that's what you talk about every night on the program. That's what this is about. Liberty and religious freedom and our traditional moral values cannot take a back seat as this new idea, this expansive idea of sexual liberty takes hold. And that's what we're facing. And the stakes really could not be any higher right now. And that's why it's worth fighting for. We've got to stand for common sense. If we don't do it, no one will.
Let's stand for common sense with State Representative Mike Johnson out of Bossier City, soon to be United States Congressman Mike Johnson. Mike, as always, fight the good fight. I'm up against a hard break. Glad that you gave us a call and that you are standing on the wall warning us about what's going on in Baton Rouge. And hey, listen, man, that governor, believe it or not, he will, in fact, hear from the people. I'm CL. We're going to be right back.
Broadcasting from the Bayou State and all around the Gulf Coast and streaming nationwide. This is the C.L. Bryant Show.
CL back with you on this Thursday evening. I certainly hope that you're safe and sound out there on the streets of the jeweled cities of the Arklatex, Shreveport, and Bossier. Of course, we are streaming live throughout the fruited plains of the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the greatest success story the world has ever known. That would be America. And on the line with me now, oh man, I tell you, it's been a hit parade. My good friend Mike Johnson is engaged in body blows with the governor, rightly so. Go get him, Mike. And we're behind you, brother. But on the line with me now is State Representative Valerie Hodges of Baton Rouge and Livingston parishes. Welcome to the C.L. Bryant Show, Representative Hodges. So glad to have you with us.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be with you.
Well, there is indeed a project that I commend you for, because I think our young people and many Americans are in a state of abject ignorance when it comes to who we are as Americans and the struggle that it has that we have come through as Americans to get to where we are. And I believe that the tenets of our founding documents, starting with the Declaration of Independence, lay the groundwork for us to be where we are. However, you are running into opposition with the type of reading that you would want of our young people of that very document that set the groundwork. What are you running into, and what is the opposition? Tell us about the struggle that you are going through.
Well, CL, I was really kind of blindsided by what happened yesterday. I thought everybody would be in agreement that the Declaration is the cornerstone of our republic and was going to be excited about it. We had a very little opposition in the Education Committee, and so it got out and just really was excited about this. We obviously have a problem in our country and with this new generation that's coming up. And as I looked at the statistics, how badly we need our young people to understand the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. I mean, what it is, especially the Declaration, it's a perpetual call to honor liberty and the dignity of the individual. And what we see is an absolute opposite of that in society. So on the floor yesterday, when I went through, why I was bringing the bill, and then Representative Barbara Norton started saying that all men are not created equal. And I was like, I thought I'd misheard, and I asked her, and she said she did not believe that all men were created equal, and that the Founding Fathers were basically, to sum up what she said, she believes they're bigots, and she did not want her granddaughter and other children having to recite that document.
Wow, that is absolutely blowing me away. Let me tell you why that's blowing me away. Like Barbara, of course I know Barbara, like Barbara, I am the great-grandson of former slaves. But unlike Barbara, I believe that there is a portion, in fact, I think it is probably the most divinely inspired portion of the Declaration written by Thomas Jefferson, the framer of this document, that says we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, and among them is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is what I say around the country. I speak around the country, and this is what I tell people about that portion of the document when I refer to it. Jefferson may not have had me in mind at the time when he wrote it, but when he wrote it, the day that he penned those words, he guaranteed that the day would come when you and I, a white woman in Louisiana and a black man in Louisiana, would be having this conversation in a free America as free people. And that is what our children need to understand about the genius of the document that founded this country. What do you say?
I could not agree with you more. And as I said yesterday, as important as math and science and the other things are to teach. There's nothing more important than teaching these documents, not just the recital, but the understanding of all of the elements of what it's talking about. And what really concerned me was when my fourth grader came and she had told me that they just got through studying the Declaration of Independence, and she really didn't even understand it. And just, 2 or 3 week course, she could not recite one word. And when I was in elementary school, we had to learn to recite things. And these documents were elevated, and it does elevate humanity. And so that's why I just can't even wrap my mind around why anybody would be opposed to this. It's literally 55 words, the part that I asked them to recite. And I do believe that, even Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln used this document as a rallying cry against slavery.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, when King went to his March on Washington, when he said, "We have come here to cash a promissory note," what he was saying is that we have come to cash in on what the founding fathers wrote for us all. And how any representative, black, white, or anybody, can stand on the floor of any state house and say that we are not created equal when they are standing there governing, that is beyond me. I just can't. It just blows me away. There's much more that I want to talk to you about on the other side of the break. Stay with me. State Representative Valerie Hodges is on. There's a lot more to talk about. I'm CL. This is the CL Bryant Show. I'll be right back.
But that was all he missed, and he ain't coming back.
CL. Oh, man, there's a lot of rambling going on. That was a good choice, Jay. I am back on the line with State Representative Valerie Hodges, Baton Rouge and Livingston Parish here in the state, and she's fighting the good fight, folks. I want to welcome all of you across the fruited plains of the greatest nation on the face of the earth to the show, and all of you download the free CL Bryant Show app onto your iPhone or your Android, and you can join the most listened to Talk in the Arklatex nightly, 5:30 to 7:30, and we certainly do appreciate you again, Representative Hodges, for being on with us. Now, are you suggesting this for schools here in just in southern Louisiana, or is this something that you're wanting to be duplicated throughout the state?
Well, I would like to see it throughout the state. CL on test show, Gallup Post shows the NAEP test show that less than 1/3 of eighth graders can even identify the historical purpose of the Declaration of Independence. Now, you think about that. Less than 1/3 of eighth graders can even tell you what the Declaration is about. And with over a little more than 1/3 of respondents in this Gallup poll could name all three branches of government.
Wow.
So you think about the way you teach is repetition over and over and over. And we teach math. We go through that year after year after year after year after year. You don't teach math for 3 weeks in one grade and then wait 4 or 5 years and teach another grade. And so what I would like to see, like I said, what's more important than teaching children about honor and liberty and the dignity of the individual? I mean, this document is the universal expression of the universal human rights, and it's a symbol of liberty. And
it gave birth. Valerie, go ahead. Finish your thought. Go ahead and finish your thought.
Well, and so if that should be a priority to us. Only 1/4 of the young people in the United States even scored proficient on the NAEP civics assessment test. Only 1/4.
That's shocking.
3/4.
That's shocking.
And it's disturbing because even Ivy League schools could not answer some of these questions about civics, about the Declaration of Independence. That's shocking and it's disturbing because it says, where are we going as a nation? And it leaves the door open to deception.
Yeah, the same type of deception.
That's what I'm concerned about.
The same type of deception that you're seeing now in the streets of Venezuela, when Hugo Chavez promised them basically the same things that Bernie Sanders is promising America's youth today. There has to be a time when personal responsibility takes shape, and that's one thing that we could see in those who framed our founding documents. In our infancy, there was an infancy of America when, yes, we made a lot of mistakes. We were trying to learn how to stand on our own two feet, and of course we then had to adjust some things as we went through the Civil War, and that, of course, gave birth to our modern American system as we see it today. And even in the 60s, there were still adjustments that had to be made, but the founding principles, the core values that the country was founded upon was indeed the guiding document that has led to our conversation in Louisiana, yours and mine, in Louisiana to this very day. And there's somebody that I want Michelle to share her contact with you. Her name is Chris Ann Hall. She is a constitutional attorney. She and I have done venues together around the nation. She is very good at expressing how to young people what this is about. She uses Crispus Attucks and others along with the founders in the revolution to get the point across that it is an America for all people. Because what you saw, what you sent to us in that little video that we saw there was, in my estimation, a defiant ignorance. That was a defiant ignorance, and that is what leads to confusion. I'll give you the last word.
I totally agree with you that this document is a symbol of liberty, and it says that we are endowed with our Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness, that no one is born to rule or to be ruled. And everyone should celebrate that. I don't care what the color of your skin is, what your race, your gender, it doesn't matter. No one is born to be ruled. And it elevates us all on an equal footing. And I just believe that we should celebrate it, understand it, and that it's just imperative that we teach this to our young people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to thank you for fighting the good fight. Thank you for standing in the face of an ill wind that sometimes does blow. But please share what I share with even the people who oppose you, that those words guaranteed that the day would come when all Americans would taste, and the greatest prayer of all men is to know how freedom feels. Those words are what guarantee it here in this country. Listen, we got to have you on to see how this is progressing. We want to encourage you and we want to spur you on. But in the meantime, fight the good fight. God bless and keep you. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. God bless you too. Bye-bye.
I'm CL. This is the CL Bryant Show. I want to thank our sponsors: Holmes Honda European, Bailey's Fine Jewelers, Tiger Axle, Milam Cars, Giuseppe's, DavTac Custom Arms and Ammo, Chevyland, Subway, and Signature Cleaning Service. I'll be right back.
But it was long ago. Jane, it was lovely. She was the queen of my night. There in the darkness with the radio playing low.
CL, back to wrap it up. And we're standing on the threshold of Memorial Day. And be sure to tune in the Memorial Day program. It's really good. It's really good. And we will actually replay the Memorial Day, tomorrow's program on Memorial Day. That's how good it is. And I want to encourage each and every one of you to remember the price that was paid for our personal freedom. Next year, this time, we will have a new commander-in-chief, if all goes well, and he will be laying the wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. I want to thank Yoakum Toyota, Bretches Insurance, Dale's Paving, Bossier City Harley Davidson, Transmission Automotive Technology, Grub Burger, Air Innovations, Reggie A. Bear. Call him if you're having any problems with your air systems. He's cleaned the air up in here for me, and he can take care of your air conditioning if you're hot if you're hot going into the summertime. Rimmer Electric, they bring the light. Good Life, Health Food and Deli, along with Mercatech, Red Wing Shoes. Chester T. Kelly has a Memorial Day spot that he's doing that is coming right out of the CL Bryant Show, and then Brown Dodge. I want you to understand that when you support these sponsors of ours, you help us here on the show. And I want to thank each and every one of you for listening to us tonight. I certainly hope you enjoyed the show as much as I have enjoyed bringing it to you. And folks, just remember that through it all, from our infancy through our adolescence and now in our young adulthood, as a nation, just like any individual and like any organism, a church, a country is the same as any family. It's only as good and strong as the people who inhabit it. You remember that. A country is no better, no stronger than the people who inhabit it. Well, I want to thank God for bringing us to the close of yet another day. And I want to thank him for the men and women in uniform around the globe who defend our right to speak our mind. And until I'm able to talk to you again, I'm CL, and may God bless and keep you all.
To keep freedom alive, and to the families left behind, we'll stand by your side, and the bond will never be torn. For those who wear the uniform.
Do it. I'm just going to do it. Hi, folks. I'm CL Bryant, and I believe that by now all of you know that Hi, folks. I'm CL Bryant, and I believe that all of you know by now that an iconic chef, Giuseppe Bruscia, is retiring June 4th. Make it your business to make it your business to have reservations now for this final week of culinary excellence at the great restaurant. Let me start over, Jay. Hi, folks. I'm CL Bryant, and by now all of you know that the iconic chef Giuseppe Bruscia is retiring June 4th. Join me and I'm sure hundreds of others who will make it their business to have reservations at Giuseppe's this final week of June 4th. Gummit. This final week of business. One more time. I'm gonna nail it this time. One more time. Here we go. Hi, folks. I'm CL Bryant. On June 4th, the doors of Giuseppe's restaurant will close.